In 2005, three former PayPal employees, Chad Hurley, Chen, and Jawed Karim, noticed a problem that most people simply accepted. People could easily send emails, they could share photos, they could chat online, but sharing videos was surprisingly difficult. Video files were huge, internet speeds were slow, most websites didn't allow uploads. Even when someone managed to upload a video, friends often couldn't watch it because of incompatible formats. The internet was growing rapidly, but video sharing remained frustrating. One evening, the three friends sat together in a small apartment in California. The room wasn't impressive. A few old computers, messy desks, empty coffee cups, boxes stacked in the corners. Outside, the city lights glowed through the window. Inside, nobody realized history was about to begin. Chad leaned back in his chair. What if anyone could upload a video and share it with the world? For a moment, the room became silent. The question sounded simple. Almost too simple. Steve looked at him. You mean anyone? Anyone, Chad replied. Jawed thought about it. No complicated software. No technical knowledge. No, just upload and watch. Chad smiled. Exactly. The idea seemed obvious. But sometimes the most powerful ideas are the simplest ones. The next day they started working. At first, they had no investors, no large office, no famous partners, no guarantees, only an idea and belief. They used their own savings to build the first version of the platform. Every dollar mattered, every expense felt risky. One broken server could create a problem they couldn't afford. Some nights they worked until 3 or 4 in the morning. Other nights they never slept at all. Weeks became months. The first version of YouTube slowly came to life. The website wasn't perfect. Pages loaded slowly, videos sometimes failed to process. Bugs appeared constantly. Every time one problem was fixed, another appeared. But they kept working. Then came the hardest part, waiting for users. The founders launched the platform and watched the visitor counter. 1 visitor, 3 visitors, 7 visitors. Sometimes hours passed without a single new upload. Some days only 5 or 10 people uploaded videos. Other days nobody uploaded anything at all. The servers sat almost empty. The founders refreshed statistics over and over again. Nothing happened. Money continued disappearing. Server costs increased every month. Bills arrived faster than users. One evening, Steve opened the financial report. The numbers were terrifying. The company was losing money fast, very fast. He looked at Chad. At this rate, how long can we survive? Nobody answered because nobody knew. Investors weren't lining up. The media wasn't interested. Most people had never even heard the word YouTube. Friends quietly suggested finding normal jobs again. Some people believed the project was doomed. Others thought the market was already too crowded. The founders listened, then returned to work. Deep inside, they believed something important. They weren't building a website. They were building a place where anyone could tell their story. A teenager with a camera, a musician with a dream, a teacher sharing knowledge, a family recording memories, anyone, everyone. But in early 2005, that future was invisible. There were no millions of users, no billion-dollar valuations, no famous creators, no viral videos. Only 3 young entrepreneurs sitting in a small apartment, watching their savings disappear, hoping the world would someday understand their idea. And as another unpaid bill landed on the table, success felt farther away than ever. As more users uploaded videos, costs exploded. Every video required storage. Every view required bandwidth. The servers became more expensive every month. Investors worried about one question: how will YouTube ever make money? The founders didn't have a clear answer. Some people believed the company would fail. Others thought large media companies would destroy it with lawsuits. Yet users kept arriving. Hundreds became thousands. Thousands became millions. Every day more people uploaded funny clips, family moments, music performances, and personal stories. The founders realized something important. People weren't just watching videos. They were creating a new kind of internet. At first, the growth felt exciting. Every morning the team checked the numbers. More uploads, more views, more users. But soon excitement turned into fear. The growth was happening too fast. The servers were running day and night, storage costs increased every week. Bandwidth bills became terrifying. One month the expenses doubled. The next month they doubled again. Then again, the more successful YouTube became, the more money it lost. Late one evening, Chad sat staring at a financial report. The room was silent. The numbers looked impossible. Thousands of dollars, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, leaving the company every month. Steve walked into the room. "How bad is it?" Chad slowly pushed the report across the table. Steve looked at the figures. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Finally, he whispered, "We can't keep paying bills like this forever." The problem was simple. People loved watching videos. But in 2005, video streaming was expensive. Every new user increased costs. Every viral video created another financial headache. Success itself was becoming dangerous. The founders met with investors. The meetings were often difficult. One investor asked, "So where's the profit?" The room became quiet. The founders believed in their vision, but they didn't yet have a business model capable of supporting millions of users. Another investor asked, "What happens if your traffic doubles again?" The truth was frightening. They didn't know. One newspaper article predicted YouTube would collapse within a year. Technology experts criticized the company. Some called it unsustainable. Others called it reckless. Many believed the platform was growing too quickly to survive. Then another problem appeared: copyright concerns. Users were uploading clips from television shows, movies, music videos, sports broadcasts. Major media companies noticed. Lawyers began paying attention. Rumors spread that lawsuits could destroy the company before it ever became profitable. Employees worried, investors worried, even some of the founders worried. For the first time, YouTube's future felt uncertain. One night, after everyone else had gone home, Jawed sat alone looking at the website statistics. The numbers continued climbing. Millions of views, millions of users, millions of videos. He realized something extraordinary. The internet was changing. For years, websites had been controlled by companies. Now ordinary people were becoming creators. Teenagers were uploading comedy videos. Musicians were finding audiences without record labels. Families were sharing memories across continents. Students were teaching other students. People everywhere were discovering that they no longer needed permission to share their voices with the world. The next morning, the founders gathered around a computer screen. The newest statistics appeared. Another record, then another, and another. Millions of people were using YouTube despite the costs, despite the criticism, despite the uncertainty. The platform kept growing. Chad looked around the room and said quietly, "Maybe this is bigger than we thought." Nobody disagreed, because by then, YouTube was no longer just a startup struggling to survive. It had become something much larger. By 2006, YouTube's growth shocked the technology world. Millions of videos were being watched every day. Servers struggled to keep up. The company needed enormous amounts of money just to stay online. Then something unbelievable happened. One of the biggest technology companies in the world noticed YouTube. Google wanted to buy it. Negotiations began. The founders were nervous. The decision would change their lives forever. After weeks of discussions, Google made an offer worth $165 billion. For three young entrepreneurs who had started with a simple idea, the number felt unreal. The deal became one of the most famous acquisitions in technology history. But before that historic moment, YouTube was facing its biggest crisis. The platform was growing faster than anyone had imagined. Every day, millions of people visited the website. Millions of videos were watched. Hundreds of thousands of new videos were uploaded. The numbers seemed impossible. What had started in a small apartment was now becoming one of the fastest growing websites on earth. Yet success came with a frightening cost. The servers were under constant pressure. Engineers worked late into the night trying to prevent outages. Every major viral video created another challenge. Every new user increased expenses. The company was becoming famous around the world. But behind the scenes, the pressure was enormous. Some employees worried the platform might collapse under its own growth. Others feared legal battles with powerful media companies. The founders often slept only a few hours each night. Whenever their phones rang late at night, they feared another emergency. A server failure, a technical problem, a legal issue, a financial crisis. One evening, Chad sat alone in the office. The room was dark except for the glow of computer screens. He opened the latest traffic report. The numbers were astonishing. Millions upon millions of daily views. At the same time, the costs were becoming overwhelming. Success was arriving faster than revenue. The future remained uncertain. Then something unexpected happened. Executives at Google began paying close attention to YouTube. They saw something many others had missed. The internet was changing. Video was becoming its future. Google as leadership realized YouTube had built something unique. Not just a website, a global community. A platform where anyone could share their voice. Soon meetings were arranged. The founders flew to discuss possibilities. Lawyers joined conversations. Financial experts reviewed documents. Investors followed every development closely. The negotiations lasted for weeks. Nobody knew what the final decision would be. For Chad, Steve, and Jawed, the situation felt surreal. Just a short time earlier, they had worried about paying server bills. Now they were sitting across from one of the most powerful technology companies in the world. One afternoon, the final offer arrived. 1,650,000. For a moment, nobody spoke. The number seemed unreal. It was larger than anything they had ever imagined. Larger than every late-night conversation. Larger than every risk they had taken. Larger than every unpaid bill they had worried about. The room became silent. The founders looked at each other. Memories flooded back. The small apartment. The empty statistics page. The sleepless nights. The investors who doubted them. The months when failure felt closer than success. And now, suddenly, one signature could change everything. When the agreement was finally announced, headlines appeared around the world. Google buys YouTube for $165 billion. The technology industry was stunned. Some people called the deal brilliant. Others called it crazy. Many questioned whether a video sharing website could ever justify such a price. But the founders understood something important. The acquisition wasn't just about money. It was proof that their idea had mattered. After the acquisition, the founders became incredibly wealthy. Chad Hurley received shares worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Steve Chen also became a multi-millionaire. Jawed Karim, as smaller ownership stakes still made him extremely rich. Newspapers around the world published headlines about their success. Many people thought their lives had become easy. But wealth brought new pressure. Every decision was watched. Every interview made headlines. The founders learned that money solves some problems, but it does not remove responsibility. Meanwhile, YouTube continued growing faster than ever. Millions of creators joined the platform. A new digital economy was born. The day the acquisition officially closed felt unreal. For months, the founders had worried about server costs, legal risks, and running out of money. Now they were reading articles describing them as some of the most successful entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. Reporters waited outside buildings. Television channels requested interviews. Business magazines wanted exclusive stories. Everywhere they went, people asked the same question: how does it feel to become rich overnight? But the truth was more complicated. The money was real. The headlines were real. Yet their lives did not suddenly become perfect. For Chad, Steve, and Jawed, the attention was overwhelming. Only a short time earlier, they had been ordinary engineers. Now millions of people knew their names. Every public appearance became news. Every comment was analyzed. Every decision attracted criticism. Some people praised them. Others claimed they had sold the company too early. A few argued that YouTube would never justify its enormous price tag. The founders learned an important lesson: success creates new challenges. Money removes some worries, but it creates others. One evening, Chad looked through old photographs. There was the tiny apartment, the first server, the early office, the whiteboards filled with ideas, the long nights, the uncertainty. He remembered the moments when they weren't sure YouTube would survive another month. Now those same struggles seemed very far away, yet he knew something important. The acquisition was not the end of the story. It was only the beginning. Under Google as ownership, YouTube received access to resources it had never possessed before. More servers, more engineers, more technology. more opportunities, the platform expanded rapidly, video quality improved, loading speeds increased, new features appeared, the number of users exploded, millions became tens of millions became hundreds of millions. Every day, thousands of new creators joined, teenagers recorded videos in their bedrooms, musicians uploaded songs hoping to be discovered, teachers shared lessons with students around the world, gamers built audiences larger than some television channels. Comedians found fans in countries they had never visited. For the first time in history, ordinary people could build global audiences with nothing more than a camera and an internet connection. Some creators earned their first dollar online, others earned enough to quit their jobs. A few eventually built businesses worth millions. A completely new economy was emerging. Nobody had planned it. Nobody had predicted it, yet YouTube was creating opportunities that had never existed before. Years later, people would launch careers, companies, and entire industries through the platform. Some creators would become celebrities, some would become entrepreneurs, some would become millionaires, and it all traced back to one simple idea discussed in a small apartment years earlier. One night, after another successful year of growth, Chad stood quietly in front of a screen displaying YouTube's latest statistics. Billions of views, millions of uploads. Users from nearly every country on Earth. For a moment he remembered the days when only a few people visited the website. The contrast was unbelievable. Years passed, YouTube transformed from a video sharing website into a global platform. Students earned money teaching lessons, gamers built careers, musicians found audiences. Comedians became celebrities, small creators turned into business owners. Some channels earned hundreds of dollars per month, others earned thousands. The largest creators earned millions. For the first time in history, ordinary people could build audiences larger than traditional television networks. YouTube wasn't just a website anymore, it was an opportunity. At first, very few people believed someone could earn a living by making videos. Parents told their children, "You can build a career on YouTube." Teachers called it a hobby. Friends laughed at creators spending hours recording videos. Most people assumed success belonged to movie stars, television hosts, and large media companies. But YouTube was changing the rules, slowly, then suddenly. A teenager with a cheap camera could reach millions of viewers. A musician recording songs in a bedroom could gain fans around the world. A gamer streaming gameplay could build a global community. A teacher explaining mathematics could help students from dozens of countries. The internet was creating opportunities that had never existed before. Every day, new success stories appeared. One creator earned their first dollar, another reached 1,000 subscribers, another quit a full-time job after YouTube income became larger than their salary. For many creators, the beginning was difficult. They uploaded videos for months without views, sometimes years. Some spent hundreds of hours creating content that only a few people watched. Many thought about quitting. Many actually did quit, but those who continued often discovered something powerful. Growth was slow until it wasn't. One video could change everything. One viral moment could transform a life. A creator who earned nothing for years could suddenly gain millions of views. Millions of views could become advertising revenue, sponsorship deals, merchandise sales, business opportunities, financial freedom. Stories spread across the internet. A student earning $50 a month from videos. A teacher earning $50 a month. A gamer earning $50. A top creator earning millions every year. The numbers sounded unbelievable, yet they were real. Entire industries began forming around content creation. Video editors, thumbnail designers, writers, managers, marketing agencies, production companies. Thousands of businesses emerged because creators needed support. What had started as a simple video sharing website was becoming an economic ecosystem. By now, billions of people visited YouTube every month. More than 1 billion hours of content were watched every day. The scale was difficult to imagine. Some individual creators built audiences larger than television networks. Others attracted more viewers than Hollywood productions. The world was changing. And the most surprising part, many of those creators started with almost nothing. No expensive equipment, no professional studios, no connections. Just determination, creativity, and the courage to upload their first video. One evening, a young creator sat alone in a small bedroom recording a video for 10 subscribers. Across the world, another creator was speaking to 10 million people. Both were using the same platform. Both had access to the same opportunity. That was the revolution. For the first time in history, anyone with an idea, a camera, and an internet connection could potentially reach the world. Years earlier, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim had only wanted to make sharing videos easier. They never imagined that millions of people would eventually build careers, businesses, and entire futures through the platform they created. YouTube was no longer just a company. It was a place where dreams, risks, failures, and success stories met every single day. And for countless creators around the world, the upload button had become the first step toward changing their lives forever. Years later, a student asked Chad Hurley, "Did you know YouTube would become this successful?" Chad smiled. "No, we simply wanted to solve a problem." The student asked another question, "What is the secret of success?" Chad thought for a moment, then answered, "Most people wait for perfect conditions. We started before we were ready." The audience applauded. The story of YouTube became proof that huge businesses don't always begin with huge plans. Sometimes they begin with a simple frustration, a small team, and the courage to try something that might fail. The founders couldn't predict billions of views. They couldn't predict billions of dollars. They couldn't predict changing the world. They simply took the first step. And that first step changed internet history forever. The room remained silent after Chad finished speaking. Hundreds of students listened carefully. Many dreamed of becoming entrepreneurs. Others hoped to build companies of their own one day. A young man in the front row raised his hand. "What if I fail?" Chad smiled. It was a question he had heard many times, and one he had asked himself years earlier. When we launched YouTube, he said, failure was a real possibility. We could have lost everything. The website could have failed. The investors could have walked away. The money could have run out. But fear doesn't disappear when you wait. You have to move forward despite it. The audience nodded because everyone understood that feeling. Fear of rejection, fear of losing money, fear of looking foolish, fear of failure. Those fears stop millions of people from ever starting. Another student stood up. "What was the most difficult moment?" For a few seconds, Chad looked down, then answered honestly, "The hardest moments were when nobody believed in us, when the bills kept growing, when people said the idea would never work, when we worked all night and still had problems the next morning. There were days when quitting seemed easier. The room became quiet. Those weren't the glamorous stories people usually heard. No headlines, no billion-dollar deals. Just long nights, uncertainty, and persistence." Chad continued, "People see the success. They see YouTube. They see billions of users. They see the money, but they don't see the years of doubt before any of that happened." The students listened closely. Some began taking notes. Others simply stared at the stage. Because for the first time, success felt real. Not magic, not luck, not destiny, just thousands of difficult decisions made one after another. The conference ended. People stood and applauded. But before leaving the stage, Chad shared one final thought. "If you're waiting for the perfect moment, you may wait forever. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The people who change the world usually begin when they feel uncertain." Years later, those words continued spreading across the internet. Entrepreneurs quoted them, students shared them, creators repeated them in videos. The lesson wasn't really about YouTube, it was about taking action. About believing in an idea before anyone else does, about continuing when progress feels invisible, about refusing to quit when success seems impossible. The founders never planned to become famous. They never planned to become millionaires. They never planned to build one of the most visited websites in history. They simply wanted to solve a problem, and by solving that problem, they accidentally created opportunities for millions of people around the world. Today, billions of videos later, YouTube remains proof that extraordinary things can grow from ordinary beginnings. 3 friends, 1 apartment, a few computers, an idea nobody could fully see, and the courage to start anyway, because sometimes the biggest difference between a dream and reality is a single decision to begin.